Okay, so Jordan Love. Jordan Love is now the definitive quarterback one in Green Bay. He's been sitting the bench for about 3 years, which is the exact way I would describe my high school football career. But now he has the opportunity to come step in and show why he was a first round pick all of those years ago. So the question remains: is he a good quarterback? Can he lead the Packers to the same heights that Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers led them before him? Can he continue the 30 plus years of great quarterback play for Green Bay? Please, dear God, no. And was he worth the first round pick? These are all big question marks leading into this season with Jordan Love. And I'm here to talk about kind of what I think to expect from Jordan Love. So it's important to note that, like I said, he's pretty much ridden the bench for a number of years. He had one start, and he didn't play too well. He went 19 of 34 for 190 yards, threw a touchdown, threw one pick. Packers really only put up 7 points. Those stats, while they don't look great, are probably look a little bit better than the actual result was. He didn't look great. He did not look great. But in this past season, he did get to play a little bit in garbage time against the Eagles, and he looked good. He threw a long touchdown pass to Christian Watson, which was mostly just the yards after catch ability of Christian Watson and his super speed running down the sideline. But I think he looked decent. He looked much better than he did the last time in Kansas City. And to his defense, really, Kansas City is a tough environment. Arrowhead is one of the worst, it was one of the best home field advantages in the entire NFL. You're playing up against Patrick Mahomes. That's daunting enough. You're playing up against Andy Reid. That's also crazy. And let's not forget, Steve Spagnuolo is one of the better defense coordinators in the NFL. And he really made Jordan Love's life hell in that game. But I'm not going to judge him too much off of that game. Like I said, tough environment. One of his only start up until this point. He's appeared in 6 games, only started that one. So there's definitely no conclusive data on Jordan Love yet, to say the very least. So what do I expect from him? I expect Jordan Love to be okay. I don't expect him to really light the world on fire. I don't expect him to be a Pro Bowler. I don't think that he's in that upper echelon of NFL quarterbacks. I definitely don't think he's a top 10 guy. But I think that he's a quarterback that I'm trying to articulate this without being mean, because I know some of you Packer fans are watching, and I don't want you to immediately press that unsubscribe button. But what I'll say about Jordan Love is I didn't love him coming out of Utah. I didn't love him. Utah State, I believe, excuse me. And I think that in the NFL, he's not going to be anything special. And part of the reason is because I think the Packers' offense is getting progressively worse. Aaron Jones is getting older. I think their offensive line is getting more and more beat up. Their receivers really aren't great. I know Christian Watson had a lot of good games last year in the second half of the year. But you also got to remember Aaron Rodgers was throwing him the ball. And Christian Watson, while he could be a stud, if that's your wide receiver one, it's a little scary. Well, it's not a little scary, but if Christian Watson's wide receiver one and you don't have a lot of depth behind him, like I don't love Romeo Doubs. They lost Alan Lazard in free agency. They lost Robert Tonyan. So to me, his weapons aren't great. His offensive line is old and banged up, and his running backs I think are pretty good. But if you're just going to turn around and hand the ball off, I mean that doesn't really impress me about Jordan Love too much. Here's what I'll say. I think Jordan Love is going to benefit from a weak NFC, just like every NFC team is. The NFC is pretty weak, so teams are going to be good teams are going to be pushed up a notch because of how weak the NFC is. And I think that his division isn't great. The Bears obviously aren't good. I think the Vikings will take a step down. I think the Lions are a bit overrated, and they're still the Lions. So I wouldn't be shocked if they won the North. And Jordan Love, he's a guy. He's got a quick release. I do say he's got a very quick. I like his release a lot, and he has shown some flashes. Do I think he's a world beater? No. Do I think that he? To be honest, man, this is basically his rookie season. In the NBA, they don't count. You can be a rookie in the year your third year, as long as you haven't played yet. And he started one game, so there is going to be that learning curve of being the starting quarterback. There is going to be that adjustment process to when teams get enough film on him to realize his tendencies, realize his weaknesses, and he's going to have to adapt to that. He's going to have to figure it out. One thing that does benefit him, though, is that he's been with the same coach for years. He should know the system by now, and he's had an entire offseason and an entire last season to build chemistry with like Christian Watson and Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, all those guys, right? Um, so I expect the Packers. I expect the Packers to not make the playoffs. Unfortunately, I don't think Jordan Love's going to be great. Now, the crappy thing for Jordan Love, and we'll see really how he handles pressure in this season, is that like basically, even though this is like basically his rookie year, this is also kind of like his free agency year. This is his year to earn or to not earn that big contract. Um, so I know they picked up his 5th year option and everything like that, but this is a big year for Jordan Love. This is a big year for the Packers as well. I don't expect Jordan Love to be too great. I expect, if I had to give like a statistical prediction, my prediction would be like 3,400 yards. I'd say about 26, 27 touchdown passes, and probably 13 to 14 interceptions. Um, Again, that is a pretty decent year. That's pretty good numbers, but nothing crazy, nothing spectacular. I don't think the Packers offense is going to be elite by any stretch. I just don't think they have the offensive structure in play. Ever since Devontae Adams left, they've felt like they just don't have enough there at the receiver position, I don't think. And I think that was part of the reason Aaron Rodgers wanted to leave and go to New York, because he knew Alan Lazard wasn't going to stay in Green Bay, and he probably wanted to get the fuck out of there. So he went to New York, recruited Alan Lazard there, and yeah, that's what I think about Jordan Love. So